Hey everyone, I am so excited to introduce you to the first ever episode of the Electric Show. I just finished editing it and I am so excited to share it with you guys. I interviewed Hannah Marriott, who is another amazing young person living with epilepsy, and we talk all things medication, seizures, and even about being butt naked. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. So yeah, here we go. First episode of The Electric Show. Hold on. Thank you so much for being willing to talk to me. This is so amazing.
I've never really had like an in-depth chat like this, like kind of like an interview about epilepsy before. It's quite so, yeah, it's all good. You might see my cat at some point. She might jump on me, just letting you know how.
Black cat as well. I love black cats.
Oh, they're so lovely, aren't they?
I heard they're the least adopted kind of cat, and I just thought that was so sad.
Do you know why that is though? It's because apparently then they don't take a good photo, but I've taken so many great photos of her.
Yeah, so the plan today is just let's just chat, because like I don't want to just be like, so this and this and this, and you just feel like, oh no. And I wait to have conversations with people, and obviously if there's anything you don't want to answer, don't feel any pressure, because I know it's hard to talk about epilepsy. It's literally taken me like 7 years to even be able to.
Wow, really? When were you diagnosed?
When I was 17, so I'm 24
17
now. Yeah. So you have photosensitive epilepsy, is what you?
Yeah, I have photosensitive and generalized. So sometimes we don't know why they're happening. But the first one I had was from like an old TV screen, like a really old TV, and my brother and I were fighting over what to watch on TV, and he kept like changing it really quickly. But also like the old TV screens I think were at like 50 hertz and now, or 60, and now it's changed. I think most laptops, computers, TVs, that kind of thing are at 60, and cinemas as well. But yeah, I have to be a little bit careful with like strobe things and like some video games and stuff like that. You know, you get a warning before you play a game sometimes about photosensitivity, or when you open up any console, it has like a little warning. I think the old Nintendo DS had that. I remember that. But yeah.
I played PlayStation with someone, because you know when the PlayStation thing opens up, it's like if you have photosensitive epilepsy, they're like, "Oh, are you okay to play this?" And I'm like, "I don't have photosensitive epilepsy, so I'm fine."
Yeah, I've known people before, like other people with epilepsy have people kind of just assume that like lights will be an issue for them, and for me it is. But I even get people saying to me, like, when they're taking pictures and things and using flash, like, is this okay? And it's nice that they think that, but often it's like very, very flashy things. But then everyone with photosensitive epilepsy is different. Like, I've looked at optical illusions before and thought, oh God, that's making me feel sick. Like, I can't look at that. So it really, really depends on what your triggers are and like what you can manage, basically.
A friend of mine sent me a message saying, oh, is it a problem when I post videos of me at gigs and clubs where it's flashy onto my Instagram story? So obviously you're not going to get a warning. So would you be triggered by something like that, like on a phone, or is it kind of like very big?
I think it would have to be very big, but if I see something, I'll just like click off it quite quickly. And not all of them, but like some music videos that I've wanted to watch in the past like haven't had a warning, which has like really bothered me. Like I didn't even like the song, but a song by the 1975, I can't remember what it was called, maybe People. I remember that was like super flashy, and I put that on and I was like, I can't watch this. Like some TV episodes as well, like they won't have a warning and I have to like turn it off or get my friend to kind of like skip it or something, depending if I'm with someone or not. Just little things like that. I think I know my own mind now when it comes to epilepsy, and I know what to kind of like look out for. If I'm going out as well into clubs and things, sometimes I'll phone them up beforehand and say, like, do you have strobes? Like, what's the lighting like? Would you be able to turn it off or down? And yeah, like some people have been like super nice and like turned it off a little bit for me when I've gone in, which was really sweet. So yeah.
I know that is.
It's like think like clubs, like big clubs. Also, like I've never been to like a proper big festival just because I don't know if I could cope with certain flashing lights and like little effects and stuff that they do. I remember when I was in year 9, a friend invited me to go and see Gorillaz with her, and I thought about it, and I like looked up online what their live shows are like, and I thought, I can't go and see this. It's like too much. It's too flashy. A lot of like holograms and things as well. So, which is a shame, really, because I'd love to go to a festival, but like a day one would be the best thing for me to do, really.
These little things that restrict you, you know, and it's like this freedom that people take for granted, and you're like, it's such a random thing. It's like I was talking about the other day, like I wasn't allowed to have baths for 2 years, and it's such
baths, really?
Yeah, because I wasn't like, the doctors weren't like, you're not allowed to, but I think my mum would have killed me. My
mum always used to say when I lived with her, if you're going to have a bath, keep the door open.
I have baths now, but I have to make sure my boyfriend's in the room next door and the door has to be unlocked, because I had this horrible incident where I nearly drowned having a seizure in the bath.
I've had a seizure in the shower, so I know how you feel.
I've had so many seizures whilst butt naked. Like, honestly, every other seizure, I'm going to be butt naked. And it's always like,
so,
my parents...
Your epilepsy brings out, like, the nudist in you. Love it.
My first ever seizure, I was in the shower. And the amount I've had where I've just been, like, completely naked is just awful.
I think it's happened to me, like, a few times, or I've been, like, half naked. But I had a seizure back in 2017. I had the first one, and I had one later at home, and this shoulder dislocated, and then it kept dislocating so many times. Like, I didn't have a seizure for a while after that, but I had them like waking up and things like that as well. So I wouldn't have much on or whatever. And I was seeing someone at the time, so he was like trying to like help me get up, but couldn't. And my friend had to come over, and like basically the paramedics had to like take off some of my clothes so they could kind of like I don't know how to explain it to you, but like they had to take off my clothes so they could try and like get to me properly, sort my shoulder out, and then like lift me up out of the bed. It was, oh god, it was horrible. It was horrible.
That sounds like...
But yeah, people forget that when you have seizures, you can have like really serious injuries as well. And luckily, that's the only bad thing that's happened to me. Yeah. But I've had like my face and my tongue all like bitten up, and like little scars across my face and things like that as well.
I think that's something that people really, you're right, they don't consider, because they're like, oh, when you have a seizure, you have a seizure, and like you might feel, because you know, my body feels so painful afterwards. But
yeah, it's exhausting. Like all of your muscles are kind of really tense and stuff, aren't they?
It's like the actual danger of it. Like I broke my nose. That was
horrible.
You
broke your nose? Oh no!
Bless you. I had a seizure and I face planted this thing, and I got a little lump now. It's not too bad. But,
oh bless you. Yeah.
Back to, because I'm so interested in photosensitive epilepsy, because I actually haven't spoken to anybody with it, because I haven't actually spoken to that many people about epilepsy, because no one really wants to talk about it, which is fair enough. So is there any like glasses? Because I have these, I don't know where I put them, but I have these like light glasses because I get vascular migraines from like bright lights. But I didn't know if you'd have had anything similar, or...
You know, I've been trying to get them for ages. I keep forgetting. Like I really should go and get some. Because I've nearly been fit free for 2 years, so I've been kind of talking to people about whether I would like to try and drive or not. But because like one of my main triggers that's like given me so many seizures is, you know, when you're in the car and you're driving and there's like low light coming through the trees.
Yeah.
And where I live, there's a lot of countryside, so that's an issue as well. But it really depends on the time of day. So I don't know whether I want to drive or not, because I feel like I'd have to plan my day so strictly to make sure that when I'm in the car that I can focus and concentrate. But these special glasses, you can get some that go like all the way around your face, so they kind of like cancel out the light a little bit. But I'd have to talk to the DVLA or like, you know, driving people about what is legal, like what can I have in my car that would help cancel out the light. But are we allowed to do that kind of thing. I do have a disabled bus pass. I don't know if you've got one.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? That's like one of the perks of being epileptic is free bus travel and like free medication.
Like, wow, you're so lucky. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I have this because I'm unlucky. It's great.
I nearly, actually, no, I did. I lost mine for a bit. I got it back, but I was like, this is the equivalent of someone losing their driving license. Like, I need this to get to work. Like, I need this to go and see my friends. And yes, I can pay, you know, but I like having this kind, like, honestly, it saves me so much money and so much hassle as well. And I'm really glad it's there. I wish that the times were a little bit better, because you can go on the bus where I live for free between 9 a.m. up until midnight, but it'd be nice to have it like a little bit earlier in the morning, because I know loads of epileptic people that like want to, you know, work full time and want to go out at a certain time to meet people or get home like late in the evening. So I think that would be useful, but I understand why they've done it from that time, but it would be nice if it was like a full thing.
Yeah. It's actually so funny that you say that, because I have sent a very strong worded email to TFL before called "I am disabled before 10 a.m." because you can't
like what the hell?
You can't get in the train in London with your car before 10 a.m. And I'm like,
really?
I had to get to uni, and like I had a bit of a sneaky way of doing it, which I won't say on this so that TFL don't come after me. But it was insane, because I was like, so before 10 a.m. I'm allowed to drive a car? Is that what's going on? Like before 10 a.m. there's no epilepsy, I'm completely fine. And then it's silly. I think these rules, I get that they're doing it to try and like make less people travel, but it's just really ableist, which super messed up. So but I never got a
I don't like that. And I, you know, if there is ever like a petition or anything, I will definitely sign it. Oh my god, I love your mug, that's so cute.
I'm so pleased with it, because I broke it, but I've glued it back together, so.
I'll show you. Here she is,
baby.
my little baby.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, angel. Sorry. Oh my god.
Oh, she wants to go. All right. She's so friendly. I love her.
No, I'm fully one of those people. Like, I will see a cat 3 streets away, and I'll be like running over to like. So with the driving thing, were you able to drive before, or how?
No, I've never tried it.
How young were you when you had your first seizure? Because obviously I was.
How young was I?
Yeah.
I was 7 when I had my first seizure, and I think I was diagnosed in the same year. So it would kind of, it's in a way kind of nice for me, because I've never had that taken away from me. You know, like I've always known that it's a maybe for me.
I had my first ever seizure the day after I failed my driving exam. But
I'm so sorry.
It would be so much worse if I'd passed it. Like, because I failed it, I was also already very at terms with the fact that I failed this driving exam. And if I'd like had that the next day and be like, but it was kind of fine, because I was like, I failed anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, there's always an opportunity to try again, and you can just like keep an eye on your recovery. And well, I say recovery, but you know, it's an ongoing thing. It's a disability. I know some people are quite funny about calling it a disability. I think epilepsy is pretty damn disabling. Do you know what I mean? Some people prefer using the term condition. And because I've had epilepsy for so long, like my words for the seizures are not terms that are used anymore. So I use like tonic-clonic, which is like an unconscious seizure.
Yeah.
But it's all got different names now.
I thought that it was tonic-clonic now. Wasn't it grand mal before? Because I don't know, that's
oh god, yeah, grand mal. Yeah, that's it. Like so grand mals, tonic-clonic, and drop attacks. What kind of seizures do you usually have?
So usually, tonic-clonic, full-blown, unconscious, and then I have had a few focal seizures, so like partials. I find partial seizures like so weird. I don't know if you've had one, but you just start.
Where it's kind of like half and half, or you'll like have a partial and then like go into one, like a full-blown seizure. And I have, oh my god, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. Like the ones where you kind of just like phase out for like 10 seconds to a minute. What are they called?
Yeah, I think those are a kind of focal seizure, maybe. I know that, I feel like I should know this. I'm trying to be like an epilepsy.
Yeah, I should know this.
Google.
I think I'm gonna look it up quickly.
I've never had like a space out one. But yeah, I've had partial ones. You do weird stuff. Like I always say weird words. I remember once I was having one and I kept on calling out for my
There we
granddad.
go.
And my granddad had been dead for like 3 years at this point in time.
Yeah, I used to have absence seizures, and I people noticed that I was having them in school, so I'd like to kind of just disappear from reality for a bit and then come back. But I haven't had one. I don't think I've had one for years now. Like, also, if I had them on my own, I wouldn't really be able to tell anyway, because like you kind of just come back into the room, and it's kind of like dozing off for a sec and then coming back.
So do you get any like warning signs when you're about to have a seizure? Because I get
auras and things, so I can. I've had things before.
Flashing lights, or is it with flashing lights? It's just immediately you're out, or do you start feeling weird?
It's okay. So it's so weird. Like in the car, especially. Like I can be listening to music or doing something or talking, and then my eyes will close, and I'll start seeing things. Like I have like mini hallucinations, but it's so weird because sometimes they feel good, but then you realize that you're having that aura moment and you think, oh shit, like I'm having a seizure basically. And I used to get like really scared of like turning my head a certain way, because it used to like turn a certain way when I was going into a seizure. So for a long time I used to sleep on one side because I was worried about all sorts of things. And like, because I have quite bad anxiety too, so my anxiety kind of ties in to the whole like worrying about having a fit. But because I've been so good over the last 2 years, like it's been all right. Like I don't think I've had any like full-blown grand mal tonic-clonic, whatever we want to call it, seizures, which is really good. So I have my moments where I get like panicky and scared and I think, oh my god, am I going to have one? But like most of the time I've been absolutely fine. Or if I am panicking, I've got to say to myself, like, this is different, this will end, like I'm safe. And you know, if I've got someone with me, or I'll call someone and just like have them on the phone and not necessarily talk that much, but say like, I'm feeling kind of scared, like would you be able to come over? I'm just gonna like lie on my bed and try and like calm myself down. And they usually put on some like very soft music or like some kind of like white noise or something. I love lo-fi hip hop. I find that like keeps me really calm.
Yeah, it is nice.
So yeah.
I do get the whole, like, sometimes I will ring someone and just be like, hey, if you hear me make a terrifying screaming noise, come over.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you have that? You make that horrible, like, noise when you have a seizure?
You make noises before you go into seizures or when you're scared?
No, so when, yeah, like when you have when you start having the seizure, like I know I get this and a lot of other people do, because your lungs go like, you go like, and it's just this.
I don't know if I've ever had that. I've said like help or like dad or mom, like even if I haven't been with them, I will like say someone's name sometimes, or like my brother James, like before I've been like, where's James? And like kind of just like freak out and then go into the seizure. But I know that some people do make that weird noise, that kind of like noise. But
horrible.
Yeah, people will tell me that I was making the noise, but usually I go into them quite quickly and don't hear anything or remember anything. So
I think so. I've never heard it because I've been completely unconscious. Because obviously, yeah, you're unconscious, but it's just. Everyone always tells me that it's like literally a traumatizing sound. My boyfriend.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, it is quite scary.
Because people don't make that noise. Like you got.
I've never seen anyone have a seizure, by the way. I don't know if you have.
I've watched a YouTube video and I turned it off after about 10 seconds. So this was why I was like keen to actually make a channel, which is something big for me because I'm like radio producer, presenter. The face doesn't usually come out.
Don't see the voice.
Like, yeah, so I kind of have this thing that I call the fear, and it's not like the fun Lily Allen song. More kind of like, I am so scared of having a seizure, and you've been seizure free much longer than I have. I've only been seizure free since July. And I think because of the circumstances in which I've had some of my seizures. So I love skateboarding. It's like my hobby.
Cool.
I know. So Avril Lavigne with my dyed hair and my skateboard.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
I love skateboarding, and I'm not amazing at it, but my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to like teach me how to skateboard?" So I'm like, "All right, sure. Meet me at the skate park." So we went to the skate park together, and I was showing him how to stand on a skateboard. So we were both standing
Yeah.
on skateboards, holding hands, and then all of a sudden, I wake up and I'm laying on this grass, and they're being like, "So you've just had a seizure." The first thing I said was, "No, I didn't."
I've done that before. You've had a seizure. Really?
Nope, no, I did not. You can't tell me I did. So I now can't go back to that skate park, and I can't get over that. So I don't know if you've ever had something like that, like when it's been in public or something. There's like a bus. I used to always get to university for my undergrad, and I had a seizure on the bus one day, and I never got on that bus again.
Really?
And
Oh,
I
bless
I
you.
don't know, like, have you experienced that, or do you have kind of any, like, I don't know, positive ideas
I'm
why not
trying to think.
that way?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have. Not really. I guess I had a seizure outside like a bar, like music venue, in Aylesbury years ago now. Like I think it was back in like 2016, maybe 2017, and it was on Halloween as well, which is like crazy. But I think because I was with people that I love so much, and I love that place and that venue, I was trying not to tie any kind of like negativity to the. It's closed down now, but I was trying not to like put myself into the position where I felt uncomfortable with being in a place that I love so much and that brought me so much joy. And I think because I was really well looked after, like I felt okay going back there, because I thought I don't want to like punish myself and stop myself from going and doing things that I love. Do you know what I mean? So there was that, but there's been a few occasions, I guess, where I've been very scared. I think it's more, for me, it's more the physical side of it. I'm scared of like doing certain things or putting my body in certain positions that would make me feel like I'm going to have one. And my anxiety and fear around having seizures comes on so randomly as well. And it's more, yeah, like roads. Like, so when I've had seizures in the car, like going down a certain path or a certain road where I know that I had a seizure kind of brings on that anxiety in me. But I think because I'm photosensitive, it's more that like when you're in a car, you can't just get out of the car and like go off somewhere else. Whereas if you're on a night out or you're at a gig or something and the lights come on, you can just leave or go into the toilet and then maybe politely tell someone that you want to leave, or that maybe we can talk to the lighting crew about what's going on, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
or put sunglasses on if I've got sunglasses. So yeah, I think my fear stems a lot from not being able to make myself safe. Or if I'm on my own and I see something, again, like trying to find that safe place where I can go and feel calm,
Mm.
and settle myself down. So I think a lot of my fear has like being in therapy and stuff like that has kind of helped deal with the anxiety around having a seizure, basically. So yeah, but I wouldn't stop myself from going to somewhere that I really loved. I think I would just kind of like bear that in mind. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I think going for you, potentially going back and revisiting that place slowly when you can, or just walking past it with a friend, but also trying not to tie too much emotion to that thing. Like it's something that's out of your control, and you may have seizures again, you may not, but if you're passionate about skateboarding, then keep going with it.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
still do, like, I'll still do street skating. But like obviously that's scary as well, because if you have a seizure and you fall off a skateboard, you're gonna hurt yourself. But it was actually, so about the whole thing with the park, my doctor said something so interesting, which I found really comforting, I think. So I tried to go back and I burst into tears. Like I was just
Oh my
standing
God.
at this great gate holding a skateboard. This family are just like, who is this random girl who's just weeping, trying to cover her face with a skateboard? And I talked to him about it, and he was like, it sounds like you have a form of PTSD from this incident. And I was like, that's so interesting, because I feel like with my epilepsy, I never put those labels on myself. I'll just be like, oh, I was being silly or blah, blah, blah. It's like when I first got diagnosed, I fully blamed myself. I was like, this
Oh,
was
you
all
shouldn't have done
my
that.
fault, because I stayed out too late and I drank too much and I got up too early in the morning and I shouldn't have done this and that and I brought it on myself. And then like a few years ago, my doctor just looked at me and he's like, Zoe, you've got to stop this because you were born with this.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a really mad thing. So I think, like, I don't know, those validating experiences are really nice.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Have you got a neurologist? Are you kind of like have you been admitted under like a neurology team?
Yeah. So my neurologist, the most lovely man in the world, Dr. Eli Silver, and he works at London Bridge Hospital. And I'm so lucky to have him, because I find both my parents are doctors, but I find it really difficult to talk to doctors, because a lot of the time I feel like they're not going to believe me. I don't know if you've ever had that
Interesting.
feeling, but sometimes I'm like, whatever. But no, I'm so lucky to have a neurologist like that, because it's someone who like actually listens, which is really nice. Have you got a neurology team as well? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember their names. I feel really bad. But I had a doctor when I was little, and he was just like a big kind of like, not in terms of how he looked, but like a teddy bear kind of character. He was so lovely. Was it Dr. Adcock? I can't remember. Oh, that really bothers me. But he said that he would see me up until I was 21, and he did, which was really lovely.
Wow.
So yeah, so because I was diagnosed so young, like I was under like the children's ward and the neurologist, whatever. And I remember I used to go in and we did all of these like little exercises together, and like I would like draw things as well and kind of like process everything. And he had like a massive in his area, like a massive doll's house, and I remember I loved it. There was this huge box of toys and a doll house, and I loved doing all of the like little exercises to test like my eyesight and my coordination. And like every time I had a checkup, he'd like give me a sticker or something as well, which was really sweet. But I've got like, I imagine it's quite big now, like a file just like full with stuff about my epilepsy, because for a long time they didn't know, because I had like 13 seizures or something within the space of a day, like grand mal as well, which was really scary for me back when I was 12, because it started in the shower, and my poor dad had to like rescue me from the shower and put me in my parents' bed, and then I started having more there, and I woke up in my bedroom, and they took me to hospital, and I blacked out again, and then woke up in the bed, blacked out again, and woke up in a different ward in a different bed, and I had no idea what was going on. Like days would like, it felt like days or weeks had passed, but it was only about just over 24 hours, I think, where I was just constantly in, out of consciousness. And again, they weren't triggered by lights. So that kind of just happened randomly. And they did like MRIs and an EEG and a few other things on me. And they were like, it's probably just, puberty's on its way. We don't really know how else to explain it. And sometimes you just can't. This is the thing with epilepsy, like you just don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing with my epilepsy. They're like, just sleep enough, don't do this, don't do that, but we don't know what's causing them. So I think that's something that's so scary. And having 13 seizures in a day, oh my God, you must have felt awful.
Oh, it was awful. And that was around the time, like once before I left, they were like, we're going to try you on some medication called Ep1. But I came off Ep1 a few years ago, because I saw, like, it's bad. I was so paranoid about the drug, because I had heard that it could, if you get pregnant on Ep1, and there was no warning about this until very recently, like your baby could be born with like without limbs and like malfunctions, or could be more at risk of getting Down syndrome and like learning difficulties and things like that. And I just thought, if this drug could physically, harm my unborn baby, what is it doing to my body? What is it doing to my uterus? How is this working inside of me? I don't want to take it anymore. So I stopped taking it, which was very naughty of me, because I spoke to my doctor about it and they were like, oh, you need to come off it slowly. And I was like, nah, I'm coming off it, like I don't want it anymore. Because around that time, again, it was on the news. So there were loads of women on BBC News talking about their experiences with this drug, had brought in their children that had had issues because of this drug, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And then like a petition came up about it, and now if you are put onto this drug, you have to sign this form saying that you've read all of the side effects, all of the terms, and you understand, you know, how the drug works, and that you still want to process it. So obviously with men, absolutely fine, but with women, like they need to know this stuff. Like I feel like people need to be educated, epileptic people, on the different kinds of drugs and how they can affect your body, and how that will ultimately affect your lifestyle as well. Because I'm on something called lamotrigine.
Yeah. Oh, are you on lamotrigine as well?
Oh, are you on lamotrigine?
Yeah.
High five. Yeah, I got you.
No,
it's good.
I had a similar experience not taking my medication, and this is actually how my epilepsy got bad. So I only had the one seizure. They put me on 75 milligrams, 50 milligrams a day. I think it was 50 a day, which is so low. I wish I only took 50 milligrams a day. And then
I take 125, so I'm on quite a high dose.
575 milligrams.
You're on 575?
575. It's so much. Don't stop taking your medication.
Yeah. If anyone, right, so if you edit this video and do put it up on YouTube, if anyone is watching this and they're epileptic, don't do that. Like, yeah, please, it is so dangerous.
It is.
Don't do it.
I was 17, you know, they told me I had this disorder. I've had one seizure. I was like, it's because I stayed out. It's because I drank. It's a lie. Because they did the EEG. I was like, the EEG was wrong. I'm not taking this medication.
So defiant.
Yeah, I already had problems with depression. They were telling me about depression, and I had problems with like weight gain because of my depression, and they were saying all that. And like, I was like, I'm just not going to take it. I'm fine. And then one day I wake up and my friend is literally there, like, her fingers have been bitten because people are not educated on how to deal with people with seizures. So she put her fingers in my mouth because that's what.
Oh shit!
Yeah, in films they put it in your mouth because they think you're going to swallow your tongue. It's not going to happen.
No! Don't put anything near the mouth.
And you are literally contracting every muscle, including all your jaw muscles. So I bit her, obviously, and oh my god, she had a go at me, not about biting her but about not taking my medication, and I never did
I bet.
medication again. Like, she was mad at me, and she's my sweetest friend, but also she was like, you have to do it.
It's because she cares, you know. It's because she loves you and wants the best for you, you know.
It was just so sad because it just, like, I started taking the medication, but it was still just getting worse. It was just more and more and more and more, and you know, 7 years later, now I'm on this much. And if when I was 17 I'd listened, I wouldn't be on this much, pretty much. So yeah, if you're watching, take your medication.
Take your meds, kids.
I have made, yeah, a massive mistake. And also research your medication, because it's crazy they put you on that without, well, I guess sometimes they wouldn't know what the effects were until like later.
Yeah, I think it was a bit different back then, to be honest with you. And like, because I was 12, like, as well, like I didn't, it felt like I didn't really have a choice. And I think children especially should be educated more if they are diagnosed, you know, given something to read at least, or like pointed in the right direction, or something to watch. I don't know, like yeah, especially with medication. I don't think there's enough there's not enough medication education out there, you know? I love it. Like, I just think it would be nice to see more epileptic people kind of understanding and being in tune with themselves and knowing what their body kind of needs and what it can't handle. Did you find you had any nasty side effects from the lamotrigine, or were you okay?
Well, I'm super sensitive to side effects from I get side effects from paracetamol. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Many things are wrong with me. So yeah, my depression got worse, weight gain, anxiety. I kind of went a bit mad, but I think that was a mix between kind of this medication that was changing my biology and a mix of finding out I have epilepsy and I'm about to go to university and everybody's staying out until 6 a.m. and doing all this mad stuff. And I'm like there like, okay, I'm going to do it all too. And then getting really scared about seizures, just this whole thing of like, I don't know. When I've like from the ages of 17 till 19, I pretty much just had a breakdown for 2 years. And I think that was partially medication, but also I think it's just so important to tell people that epilepsy and mental health are like this. Like, they come hand in hand. And if you have epilepsy, you have to pay attention to your mental health, because it does just, I don't know, mess you up. Because it's like, obviously,
easy.
It's so crazy, and it's something you can't control. And I have a lot of other disabilities, like with my dyslexia, dyspraxia, I have EDS, like all of this. And it's just, I just felt like everything was piling on top of me. And then I was like, my body, it won't listen to me. Like, it won't listen to me. It listens to itself, and that's it, and whatever it wants to do. So yeah, I don't know if those were really side effects of the medication or more side effects of how my mental health was, but I think kind of, I don't know, a mix of the two. Did
Quite
you have any
possibly, yeah.
effects from it, or were you?
When I started taking the lamotrigine, like my mental health like wasn't great, I'll be honest. And I was quite like scatty and all over the place. And I found that it really calmed me down, but to the point where I thought I was boring, because I wasn't like, I wasn't indulging in any of my creative hobbies as much anymore. I didn't really want to see certain people as much. Like, I had to force myself to go out pretty much. Like, and at that point I was living like not even really in a village, but like quite far away from like any shops or anything like that. So I had to get the bus into town if I wanted to see people, if I wanted to go to the shops or anything like that, at least like 15-20 minutes. And yeah, it kind of made me very grumpy and angsty for a while, like really snappy, which is not really like me at all. And also very dizzy. And I find I still get this, like I'll be brushing my teeth or something and find that I'm standing on one leg and kind of like leaning and then will like fall back. Like, I don't know why, but like my coordination and my balance since taking, it's better now, but when I started, definitely I found that I was often quite dizzy. So that was something that, obviously I read the side effects, but I didn't know which ones would kind of affect me as much. I think sleep as well was an issue for a while. Like, I was like waking up in the night a lot and not being able to get back to sleep very well. And now as well, I take my meds quite religiously at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So there's always, no matter what time I go to bed, like my brain kind of just like wakes me up and it's like meds between 6 to like 7:30 in the morning. But I try and take them around 6 or just beforehand. And the reason I do that is because I'm not a morning person. And when I was first taking my medication, I just wake up whenever I like actually got up, woke up, would take my meds, go and make some food or whatever, and then go about my day. But I found doing that just did not help me at all, because I did not have a specific routine with getting up and going to sleep. So I spoke to my doctor about it because I was still having seizures and, getting used to the medication. With lamotrigine, it's one of the ones that will take a little while to kind of get into your system properly and to work. So they kept upping my dose, and they said, you need to be quite strict on yourself on when you take these meds. Like, when do you think would suit you? What time do you get up in the morning? Do it like 2 or 3 hours before. They were like, try and do it before 10 a.m. basically. So I thought, well, if I do it at 6, then it's in my system, and then I can give myself a few hours for my body to just chill and then get up at whatever time. So I found that that's really worked for me. And then I take them at 6 p.m. because I think that's around the time that maybe I want to have dinner, or like I've finished work or whatever. And then it's just like a constant cycle. It used to kind of depress me at first, because I'd take my tablets at 6 p.m. and think, oh, the day's kind of over now. Like, every time you're popping those tablets, you think, oh, another day, more tablets. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I do 10 and 10 for mine. But yeah, for a while I was doing the same as you. I just took them when I woke up. But it was also bad because it meant I wasn't taking them every 12 hours because, like, in all honesty, I very rarely stay awake for 12 hours, which is probably really bad, but I love sleep. Or I'd stay up way later. So, I've taken it at like 8 a.m. and then I wouldn't take it until midnight, and then I'd wake up and take it at 6 a.m. And so, getting into that 12-hour thing. Do you ever this is my main thing. I always forget whether or not I've taken them. So I've had to get a thing now because I always forgot. Like, I would say, there was one really horrible incident where I think I like triple dosed, and I
Oh.
poisoned myself, and I couldn't walk and I couldn't move.
Did you go to A&E?
No, because they were just like, you won't die from it, but you're gonna feel terrible. And so I think I lay in bed all day, just like laying on my boyfriend while he's playing Skyrim, and I'm just hearing like Phosphrodar while I'm like in and out.
Oh,
Like,
bless you.
battling all these things. It was
Yeah, what I do is I have on my phone, like, not for the 6 a.m. one, because I always wake up and I love my body now because it just tells me.
Up 10 now. I'm always up exactly at 10, but I'll just go back to sleep. Hold on, I'll show you what I have. I'm only wearing tiny shorts, so I'm going to shift out of frame.
Every day. I've got, it's the wrong way around, but I've got tablets. We also have lunch for you and Bonnie up here as well as an alarm. Bonnie's my kitten. But yeah, so 6 every day. And then if I go to bed like late, I will make sure to put an alarm on for 6 a.m. just in case I think I don't wake up.
Yeah.
So I have that. But sometimes I'll get home from work late or I won't have my tablets on me. But usually when I go out, I always put a spare strip in there because I think, I don't know, like if you go around to someone's house and you think, and they're like, I'll stay the night or whatever. So just like always make sure I've got some in my bag, or if I'm out and I can't get home for whatever reason, put some in my bag. Like, as I said, like I'm really strict with myself. And I think some friends and like my doctor especially really admire me for like being so strict with that, because I got to a point, I'd stopped taking that old medication and I had a really bad like drop in my mental health. It was awful, and I just thought enough is enough. Like I've got to sort myself out, and it's never going to be perfect, but I thought if I take care of myself this way, then things will slowly fall into place. So, and they did. So yeah. I'm glad that it's worked out for me.
That is really good. I totally agree with your taking pills with you everywhere. I'm very much like, there is pills in every pocket of whatever I'm bringing. And it's like,
yeah, sometimes I'll find them, like I'll put my dressing gown on and be like, I've got some medicine here, got some drugs.
It's always like, in like denim jackets, that top little pocket, because I love wearing denim jackets. I always have my pills in there. I'm like, whew. But whenever I go on holiday, every single zip of every bag has medication in it, because I'm like, when I went to Vietnam a few years ago, my bag got lost, and my bag had my medication in it. So it was really bad. And it's like this emergency medication I take, you have to have like a specialist letter from a doctor, like saying that you can take it to Vietnam because it's illegal there.
I remember having to check that before I went to Marrakesh last year. I wasn't sure if lamotrigine was legal or not in Marrakesh. I was like, it's such a popular medication, surely, someone in Marrakesh is going to be taking this. Like, there'll be thousands of people. Yeah, it was fine. It's more for things like very, very strong painkillers, like codeine isn't really, it's a weird one. It's not really legal to kind of take it over into the country unless you have a prescription. And then there is diazepam, I think, is one that you have to be a bit careful with.
That's kind of what clonazepam is. And it's very funny. I actually had to get this letter from the government that was like from the drugs and guns department or something crazy like that. And there's literally this letter being like, she's allowed to take these like drugs into the country, because I was moving there. I lived, like, me and my boyfriend, we went to teach English. We were there for 6 months. So I had to bring like so much of this like illegal medication into the country. I must have had like 200 pills or something mad like that. And I'm just like in this, like going through like whatever it's called, customs, really worried that I'm gonna have to get this like certificate.
Bless you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not having my medication is something that terrifies me. I think that's why I'm so...
That scares me.
But no, I was going to show you. I have a little pill thing. It's
cute. You have that.
Little suns and moons on it.
I just keep mine in my little I just keep mine in my little sheet that it comes in.
Oh yeah, mine. Oh, I've dropped one of them now. But yeah, I like, this has helped me so much because I'm a forgetful person. Like, it comes with the dyslexia. But yeah, I also put my vitamins in it, which is useful.
Oh, lovely. See, I feel like I should do that for that, because I've been taking probiotics recently. So I probably should get like a little tub, maybe put some vitamin C in it as well, or some vitamin D.
Yeah.
By the way, is that David Bowie behind you?
Oh yeah,
Bowie!
yeah.
I love Bowie.
I love this picture. My stepdad got it for me for my birthday a few years ago. These are the only two
That's so
things
cute.
I have on my wall. This is my my friend for my birthday. She got a star named after me. So these.
Oh, what a babe!
Oh yeah, it's so,
So
cute.
cute.
She was moving back to China as well, and she was like, "We can look at the same star," and I was just like, "Wow."
So lovely.
But yeah, I thought I'd set up my computer here because it's the one aesthetic part of my room.
I probably should have put mine in better light because you can't really see me. It's quite dark.
Oh, it's fine. This is going to be a very amateur YouTube channel that probably is going to be followed by like 10 people who have epilepsy or are just friends with me.
We'll see what happens.
But I just feel like I just don't get to talk about it, and I don't, because I just felt like I shouldn't talk about it. And then when people were saying to me like, "Oh, you know, I wish there were videos or a podcast or something like that," I was like, you know what? I wish there was that too. Like, I wish that I'd been able to go on YouTube and search epilepsy, and it hadn't just been, you know, it's Purple Day or whatever it's called, the Epilepsy Day videos, and that's like, or some video about like, you know, a kid who's having 100 seizures a day, who's like taking CBD or something like that, because it's very interesting. But I feel like listening to people's actual experiences, especially
one-to-one personal experiences would be lovely, just to see how people are coping and like any tips or whatever that they have for it.
Yeah, and I feel just like sharing experiences, like me and you have obviously had both similar and very different experiences, and like I've never taken a different kind of drug, and I actually have to go and get a new EEG soon, which I'm going to document. And I think that
you should vlog it. This is the thing. Like, I sent you that little video, didn't I?
Good morning, people of the internet. It's nearly 9:15, and I'm getting this thing taken off today. Yeah.
Because I vlogged the whole thing, and I have no idea where all the videos went. But I think I did it mostly on Snapchat, and I deleted my Snapchat years ago because I took myself off social media for a couple of years, and then during lockdown I kind of caved and was like, just get Instagram maybe to try and like reconnect with some people. But I'm quite good with my social media usage. Like, I try not to overdo it, and like I've capped myself to 100 followers, so I try not to follow more than 100 people, and I will like go and change it a lot as well. So like certain artists, musicians, that kind of thing, I'll think, well, I can unfollow you because I'll go and check you out another time, and like you kind of like mix it up and stuff.
Oh no, I'm fully like, I have a social media problem. I don't even like it, but I'll sit there and I'll just be like, wow, you know, George in year 9 is going on a date tonight.
This is why I don't like, I try not to follow too many people, because I know that I was probably worse than that at some point. Like, I'd check my usage during the day and it would say like 5+ hours or something. I'd be like, that's 5 hours out of my day of just scrolling and doing like F all. That's awful. But I think Snapchat was one of the worst ones for me, because it's just so easy to just like go and do something and like chat to people on that, and Facebook as well. I'm so glad I've left Facebook. That was awful for me.
I'm very much the sort of person, I don't like listening to other people telling me what to do. And usually when someone tells me what to do, like take your epilepsy pills, I won't do it. I'll just be like, no, you can't tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. I'll be really sassy about it. So I was like, I want to work for myself. I also like want to get my poetry out there and stuff like that. And
you write poetry? I do too.
Oh, really?
That's lovely. I do.
I'll send you my poetry page after this.
It's fun, and it's very cathartic as well.
Yeah.
I've been writing poetry since I was 13. And I won like a place onto a few, like two or three creative writing courses, and I went and did one down in Devon with a company called the Avon Foundation, and I got to work with 2 quite well-known poets, Caroline Bird and Simon Armitage, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I loved it. Like, I have so many books full of poetry and just random scribbles and free writing. Love free writing, would recommend, definitely. It's literally just like writing down your immediate thoughts, no spelling, punctuation, and because of your dyslexia as well, that would like be really good for you.
Yeah.
So if you want to write a poem, or you're feeling anxious or something, or even worried about having a seizure, what I would do is just like write down my thoughts, and you don't stop until you're ready to stop, until your train of thought has kind of like gone. And then often what I will do as well is, because I like art, so I'll kind of look at the words and then highlight stuff that stands out to me, and then like doodle around it.
Yeah.
So just little things like that really help me. And honestly, like, I love writing. I don't do it enough at the moment, but I really enjoy it.
No, I really, that's actually such a good tip. Thank you. I will try that, because I've been struggling at the moment. We should probably, oh, how long has this call been? I can't tell. I need
About an hour, I think.
pretty much. I was about to be like, we should probably wrap up, but in reality, I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry too. I don't know what I want. I want cereal or tea. Also, I've got my friend here, and he's probably hungry too.
You can eat
Hey,
again.
baby.
You'll be fine.
Gonna come up and say bye.
Oh,
Come here, please. Love me.
this is me and my cats. I'm like, please love me. Oh, little baby. Oh, it looks like my little cat is so cute. Oh, it's honestly been so amazing talking to you. I really
It's been lovely talking to you too.
talk again, because like,
Of course, I'd love
I feel like you've
to.
been really helpful. You made me feel a lot better about some things. I'm like, this is great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Wow. And so excited talking to you about photosensitive epilepsy, because all the time everybody thinks that all epilepsy is photosensitive epilepsy, and you're like, no, it's actually like not that the majority.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think it's 1 in 30 people have epilepsy, and then like 10% of those people have photosensitive epilepsy.
Yeah.
I'll need to fact check that for me at some point.
I'll just do like a little asterisk.
Yeah.
But no, I think like one of my big plans is I want to debunk Hollywood epilepsy, because Hollywood epilepsy is like the stupidest thing. People do not look like that when they have seizures. Not everybody who has epilepsy has photosensitive epilepsy. Like the thing with putting your fingers in someone's mouth. Don't do these things. Like,
yeah, back in the day they used to put spoons in people's mouths, and I just think, oh, that's horrible. They probably broke their teeth.
Yeah, so much love to you and your cats.
You too. Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye, lovely. Bye.